in the mud. There's dirt on my hands.
The POCO X4 GT was announced together with the much favored POCO F4 5G. Because of its specs, it remained in the shadows. Like, it only has an IPS LCD screen, MediaTek processor, plastic back, out-of-trend design, screen is not as bright, and the list goes on. But maybe, just maybe, this video will change your mind and remove those doubts. Let's find out. Let's go. Alright, now let's have a look at the POCO X4 GT. But before you move further, I know probably this is not the first review video that you've seen about the POCO X4 GT. But comment down below, before you move forward, comment down below what you think about this phone. It could be negative or an admiration of the phone. We'll see if you've changed your mind, so I would know. Okay, so first thing I'm going to talk about is its design. As you can see, it is not within the very box or square-like design like the POCO F4. The back still has the POCO logo printed on it. It's flat, but the sides are curved. So it would be easier to hold your hand, unlike if it's too edgy, it's not very comfortable. And the camera panel, the lenses are symmetrical. I like the way it's being placed. I like how it looks because both of them have the same size. 3 cameras plus the flash. As you can see, the camera panel is not very thick as well. Even the phone, it's not very thick. It is light. On the side, it will have volume buttons and also the fingerprint sensors. This is also the power button, and at the top we have the IR blaster, we have the microphone, we have the speaker, and a 3.5mm jack. At the bottom you have the SIM slot, you have the microphone, you have the Type-C port, and also the speaker. And the SIM card, it has a dual nano SIM, but there's no SD card slot, so you couldn't expand the memory. Alright, so if you are holding your phone, let's just say you're watching a video or probably doing some games, because of the placement of the speakers, so it won't be muffled, or probably if you have bigger hands you can accidentally cover the left speaker. Okay, as you can see, the glass panel is slightly elevated from the side frame. Okay, so also comes with a silicone case. The fit of the case is really good. Also, there is a screen protector inside the box. You have to install it yourself. I like the phone because it's light, so you don't have any problems with a one-hand operation, and it's quite efficient how they design it. It's comfortable in my hand, quite good grip, especially if you have the case because it's a rubber feel. Back has a matte finish. It's not a fingerprint resistant, so you might have fingerprints all over if you don't wipe it constantly, but if you use the case, then that would protect it from fingerprints. And looking at its display, as we all know, a lot of people doesn't want to have a phone with an IPS LCD screen. Well, this is an IPS LCD screen. If you side by side with the POCO F4, I wouldn't really see the difference, not unless I switch on the always on display. I'll probably have to go to a dark mode. It has a 6.6 inches dot display, which has a 144 Hertz dynamic switch refresh rate. It has a 2460 by 1080 Full HD Plus with a touch sampling rate of 270 Hertz, which makes gaming for this phone a much more smoother experience, especially if you go for those games that supports high refresh rate and also as well as touch sampling rate, so you'll get faster feedback compared to any phone that has a lesser touch sampling rate. Obviously, it also supports HDR10, Dolby Vision, also has True Display and True Color, up to 144 Hz refresh rate with 7-stage dynamic switch. And if you decided to put a screen protector, that would be okay because it has a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 screen. It would still be best to put a screen protector. Nevertheless, it's already inside the box, so you might as well practice your skill in installing the screen protector. Also, it's not as bright, and it's already good enough for me. Even under the sunlight, you can also switch on the sunlight mode so that you'll have a better view even though it's under the sun. It doesn't have thick edges, only the chin part is slightly thicker, and the dot is not that small, but it doesn't really bother me while watching or playing videos. And in terms of watching some videos, it is crisp, it has high pixels, it is really clear. You get a better view when you hold it in both hands, and the speaker sounded like it is very well balanced. It is pretty loud, has some good bass, and also has some highs. I like the placement of the speakers, as I mentioned earlier. It has dual speakers, which supports Dolby Atmos, high resolution certified. Why don't we give the speaker a go? This has been smooth with the games that I've played. I've tested it with some few games and it has been amazing. I've played Call of Duty Mobile. I also played with Mobile Legends, Mortal Kombat, Diablo mobile version. It has been smooth. I have not encountered any jitter or any issue while playing the game. And how about the temperature after playing the game? It was fairly warm, judging by the weather that we are currently having right now here in the UK, but not to a dangerous level that it would actually switch off the game. Really above average in terms of its gaming performance. That is because it's powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 8100 and it has a 5 nanometer manufacturing process.
Our fight ends here, Diana.
One of the edge of this phone compared to the POCO F4 is its battery. Although they have the same charging speed of 67 watts, but this has a much bigger battery size and it would last longer because MediaTek, in my own experience, it does actually manage battery well compared to Snapdragon. But because this has a bigger battery, it would last longer compared to the POCO F4. And talking about extended gaming, this has a liquid cooled technology 2.0. So you wouldn't have issues with it comes to the phone getting so hot. If the temperature gets so hot because of its CPU usage, it would actually dissipate heat quite fast. And this phone has a triple rear camera, the main camera of 64 megapixel, and it has an aperture of 1.89. And the secondary camera, which is the ultra wide, is 8 megapixel with a field of view of 120 degrees. And also for enthusiasts, we can actually shoot macro photos with the 2 megapixel macro. It is still equipped with the AI camera and some MIUI camera add-ons like the long exposures, time burst, photo clones, documents mode, macro, and so on.
Catch me howling at the moon.
And when it comes to its video, you can shoot 4K at 30 frames per second. You can also shoot 1080p at 60 frames per second, as well as 30 frames per second, and also 720p at 30 frames per second. Shooting a video is actually pretty good. It has an image stabilization. And looking at the front camera, it has a 16 megapixel with an aperture of 2.45. It has a night mode, time burst, movie frame, AI beautify filters, and palm shutter. And video has some fun features as well, like time lapse and movie frame. When it comes to my experience on the front facing camera, it has some great quality photos and video. I have no doubt about it. It also has some decent quality when it comes to low light because of its night mode. But I have tested this while walking, and I was actually walking under the bridge. Notice that the image stabilization is actually gone when it was low light, which is quite, I mean, it's expected for this range of phones, but it was pretty good if there's good lighting. And software wise, it's preloaded with the MIUI 13 and Android 12. Before I wrap up this video, do you still have doubts on the POCO X4 GT? Comment down below if your mind changed with this video, or if not, let me know.